China-Xi to visit Saudi Arabia amid frayed ties with the U.S. Chinese President Xi Jinping is set to arrive in Saudi Arabia later this week for a state visit amid high tensions between the United States and the two countries, reported the official Saudi press agency, SPA. Xi's trip to Riyadh begins Wednesday and will include a Saudi-Chinese summit, a China-Arab summit, and a China-GCC summit, according to SPA, which said, prospects for economic and development cooperation will be discussed. At least 14 Arab heads of state are expected to attend the China-Arab summit, according to an Arab diplomatic source, who described the trip to CNN as a milestone for Arab-Chinese relations. Following the announcement, SPA published an historical account of Saudi-Chinese relations, noting that close ties between the two states span over 8 long decades. Rumors of a Chinese presidential visit to the U.S. largest Middle East ally have been circulating for months. Beijing has not yet made an official announcement about the trip. When asked about it during a regular foreign ministry briefing on Tuesday, spokeswoman Mao Ning said she did not have any information to provide. Last week, the Saudi government sent out registration forms for reporters to cover the summit, without confirming the exact dates. The Saudi government declined to respond to CNN's request for information about Xi's visit and the planned summits. Reports of the long-awaited visit come against the backdrop of a number of disagreements harbored by the U.S. toward both Beijing and Riyadh, which to Washington's dismay have only solidified ties in recent years. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia are still embroiled in a heated spat over oil production, which in October culminated in strong rhetoric and traded accusations when the Saudi-led oil cartel OPEC Plus slashed output by 2 million barrels per day in an effort to stabilize prices. The decision was taken despite heavy U.S. campaigning against it. A strong U.S. ally for 8 long decades, Saudi Arabia has become bitter over what it perceives to be waning U.S. security presence in the region, especially amid growing threats from Iran and its armed Yemeni proxies. An economic mammoth in the East, China has been at odds with the U.S. over Taiwan, which U.S. President Joe Biden has repeatedly vowed to protect should China attack. The thorny topic has gravely aggravated a precarious relationship between Washington and Beijing, who are already competing for influence in the volatile Middle East. As American allies in the Arab Gulf accuse Washington of falling behind on its security guarantees in the region, China has been cementing its ties with Gulf monarchies, as well as with U.S. enemies Iran and Russia. Both China and Saudi Arabia have also taken different stances to the West with regards to the Ukraine war. Both have refrained from endorsing sanctions on Russia, and Riyadh has repeatedly maintained that Moscow is a key energy-producing partner that must be consulted on OPEC Plus decisions. Following last month's massive oil cut, some U.S. officials have accused Saudi Arabia of siding with Russia and aiding President Vladimir Putin with his war on Ukraine. Saudi officials have denied either weaponizing oil or siding with Russia. Biden said in October that the U.S. has to rethink its relationship with Saudi Arabia, which the president had seemingly tried to repair in a July visit to Riyadh. Having vowed to turn the kingdom into a pariah and condemned Crown Prince and de facto ruler Mohammed bin Salman over the killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, Biden flew to Riyadh amid global oil shortages and greeted bin Salman with a fist bump that made global headlines. However, the ultimately frigid visit did not yield any increases in oil output and only aggravated tensions.